The morning sun broke through the thin curtains of a small one-room apartment. Emma sat on the edge of her worn-out couch, her hands trembling as she tied the shoelaces of her 6-year-old son, Noah. His small face lit up with excitement, unaware of the storm raging inside his mother's heart. Today wasn't just any date, was the day she had prayed for. An interview at one of the most prestigious companies in the city, a chance to finally break free from endless night shifts, unpaid bills, and the constant worry of whether they'd have enough for dinner. But there was one problem. Noah had no one else. His father had left before he was even born, and Emma's family had long turned their backs on her. The babysitter she relied on last minute had cancelled. There was no neighbor to help, no friend she could call. She stood, frozen for a moment, staring at her reflection in the mirror, dark circles beneath her eyes, determination in her expression. "It's okay," she whispered, forcing courage into her voice. "We'll go together. Mummy won't give up now." Noah clutched her hand as they walked into the towering glass building that made her feel so small. She straightened her second-hand blazer, determined not to let anyone see the fear in her eyes. As they entered the sleek waiting room, silence fell. Other candidates, perfectly dressed and child-free, gave her cold stares. A receptionist glanced at the boy with a raised brow, whispering something into her headset. Emma's cheeks burned, but she pulled Noah close. When her name was finally called, Emma stood, holding her resume tightly in one hand and Noah's little hand in the other. The panel of interviewers looked up as she entered. Their faces hardened. One of them, a sharp-eyed woman in a navy suit, cleared her throat. "Ms. Carter, this is a professional interview," she said flatly. "Why would you bring a child here?" Emma's heart sank. She opened her mouth, but no words came. Noah looked up at her, confused. I had no choice," she stammered softly. "I couldn't leave him alone. I know this is unconventional, but I promise my work ethic is stronger than my circumstances. I just need a chance." The panel exchanged unimpressed glances. One man pushed her resume aside. "This isn't a daycare, Ms. Carter. We need people who can prioritize the company. Clearly, you have other distractions." Emma swallowed hard. The rejection in their tone cut deeper than any words. She felt Noah squeeze her hand tighter, his little voice whispering, "It's okay, Mummy." But it wasn't okay. Her chest tightened as she nodded politely, holding back tears, and turned toward the door. She could feel the humiliation like a weight pressing down on her dot as she stepped into the lobby. She pulled Noah close, ready to leave the building and, maybe, her dreams behind. But then, a voice stopped her. "Excuse me, ma'am. One moment, please." Emma turned, startled. From the corner office, a tall man in a tailored gray suit walked toward her. He was older, with streaks of silver in his hair and eyes that carried both authority and warmth. The staff whispered his name, Mr. Harrison Blake, the CEO of the entire corporation, a millionaire, a man who rarely attended interviews himself. And yet here he was, walking toward her. Emma's throat went dry. "I'm sorry, sir," she managed. "I didn't mean to cause a disturbance." But Harrison held up his hand gently. His eyes shifted to Noah, who stood half hiding behind his mother. The boy clutched a small drawing in his free hand, one he had made while waiting. Harrison crouched down to Noah's level. "Is that your artwork?" he asked kindly. Noah nodded shyly and held it out. "It's my mummy and me," he whispered. "She's the strongest person I know." The room grew quiet. Harrison looked at the picture for a long moment before standing up. His gaze returned to Emma. "I overheard what happened in that room," he said firmly, his voice carrying weight. "And I must disagree." Emma blinked, unsure if she had heard correctly. Harrison continued, "I built this company from nothing. And let me tell you, success doesn't come from having a perfect schedule or perfect circumstances. It comes from grit, from people who refuse to give up, no matter what life throws at them." He gestured to Emma. "And what I see here is not a distraction. I see strength, loyalty, and determination. Qualities I'd choose over a flawless resume any day." Tears welled in Emma's eyes as murmurs spread among the staff. Harrison looked down at Noah again and smiled softly. "And any woman raising a child like this, while still chasing her dreams, is someone I want on my team." The next thing Emma knew, Harrison extended his hand. "Ms. Carter, welcome to the company. We could use someone like you." Emma gasped, covering her mouth. "Are you serious?" "As serious as the future you're about to build," Harrison said warmly. Noah beamed, hugging his mother tightly. Emma's tears finally fell, But this time they were tears of relief, of gratitude, of hope reborn. From that day forward, Emma's life changed. She worked harder than ever, not just to prove herself, but to honor the chance she'd been given. Harrison became not only her boss, but also her mentor, teaching her how to lead with compassion and courage. Months turned into years, and Emma rose through the ranks, becoming one of the company's most respected executives. But what truly mattered wasn't the paycheck or the title. It was the example she set for Noah. He grew up watching his mother transform hardship into strength, rejection into opportunity, and every time Emma looked back on that day, she remembered the words that had saved her. Strength is not a weakness, it's the foundation of success. Final message for viewers. Sometimes the world will judge you for your circumstances. Sometimes doors will slam in your face because of what people see on the surface. But true worth isn't measured by perfection, it's measured by resilience, love, and the refusal to give up. Never be ashamed of your struggles. The very thing others reject may be the reason someone finally believes in you.